Hey everyone, welcome back to the most interactive wrestling show on the interweb. Welcome back to Big Ohm Wrestling with Omer, Big Ohm Live. I don't know, I might change the name of the show, but I'm here live with y'all. It is Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, and we have a whole host of news, notes, and rumor and innuendo to get to. So let's get right to it. But I got a lot to talk about today, guys. So much news coming out of the pro wrestling world. A lot of news about the WWE pay-per-view Wrestlepalooza, which was officially announced. That's going to go head-to-head with AEW All Out. A lot of news about the reality of what's going to be in this WWE deal, because newsflash, breaking news, you're going to need more than just ESPN if you want to watch every single WWE PLE, and you're going to need more very soon because the deal kicks in a lot sooner than people originally thought. I'll go over all of that. We're also going to talk about the Chris Jericho contract situation. His contract expires, confirmed, in December of this year. What is he going to do? What is even out there? What's possible for Chris Jericho? We're going to take a look at that as well. And as you guys know, this is a fan interactive, fan run show. If you guys have a question, a comment, whatever, you put it in the chat. We'll try to get to it. You want to guarantee your question or statement is answered live on the air. Best way to do that is to leave a super chat. And also, bare minimum, I need all of you to look at me in the eye right now. Look at me in the eye right now. All right, you looking? You looking? All right, now I need you to look down at your phone and hit that like button. That's all I really need. Anyway, guys, we got a lot to get to. Excuse me. We're also going to talk about Forbidden Door, pay-per-view I will be at. I'm flying out for London just in a couple of days here, and I will be doing on-the-ground coverage of AEW Forbidden Door in London. So that's going to be a big thing for me. We'll talk about that, and I'll probably preview the card a little bit there. Anyway, let's start off with the big news that broke just a couple of hours ago about WWE ESPN. By the way, shout out to everyone in the chat. Shout out to everyone in the chat. That's what I meant to say. Minister Supreme El Bay. Shout out. We also have Michelle. Shout out to you. Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing wonderful. Forbidden Door officially sold out. I'll also tell you guys about this story. I just bought my Forbidden Door ticket today. I just bought my ticket today, and I almost missed out on a ticket. So we'll talk about that as well. Anyway, before we get to the Forbidden Door stuff, though, let's talk about some WWE news, some major WWE news, because looks like this ESPN deal that everyone's been talking about. Looks like this ESPN deal that everyone's been focused on and fixated on. Everyone believed it was going to start at WrestleMania because that's when the Peacock deal ends. Well, nah, to quote LA Knight, it kicks in a lot sooner than we all could have predicted. As I fix this a little bit, let me make sure y'all can see this. Boom! There it is. Bing, bom, boom, bop, boom, bom, bam. That type of, and anyway, we're not going to finish that. Starting this September, ESPN becomes the exclusive U.S. home of every WWE premium live event. The partnership kicks off September 20th with the first ever Wrestlepalooza headlined by John Cena. So, big news. You can see here, ESPN, the partnership that was announced, the deal that was announced just a couple of weeks ago, officially kicks in next month, September 20th, exactly 30 days from today. Wrestlepalooza is when WWE in the United States will make their ESPN debut. People expected it earlier. People expected it to take place just into next year. It is not going to be that. And this is not just Wrestlepalooza. We're talking Wrestlepalooza on September 20th. We're talking Crown Jewel in Perth on October 11th. And we are talking Survivor Series on November 29th. All going to be on ESPN's new streaming app. It is not going to be on Peacock. But we're not done there because, oh boy, get ready. it's about to get even crazier because as we look to Peacock, well, they're not giving up WWE content, guys, because it's officially confirmed that WWE main roster PLEs will no longer be streaming on Peacock after Clash in Paris, and we will be moving to ESPN earlier than originally planned. But here's the note. NXT PLEs will continue to air on Peacock. I have an F4W online article pulled up that we will also take a look at that dives deeper into this. But fellas, people, ladies, gentlemen, boys, girls, NBs everywhere, you're going to have to pay for Peacock. You're going to have to pay for Netflix. You're going to have to pay for ESPN. You're going to have to pay to watch WWE because they are everywhere all at once right now. Also have some news courtesy of Sean Ross Sapp and Fightful.com. Saturday night's main event will run on Peacock, not NBC moving forward. So looks like Saturday night's main event will no longer be on NBC. That's probably to make room for some basketball, as NBC is going to also have that on Saturday nights. Big story right now that is just breaking. I know that we got some thoughts here. We will talk about Wrestlepalooza, which was confirmed. But it is crazy. NBC just kicked Saturday night's main event off cable. It will be Peacock only now. Well, it wasn't on cable. It was on network television, which is way more widely available in the United States than streaming or anything else. But that's insane. It is insane. We got Kader Finley saying they run in our pockets like crazy. Oh, nah, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like it's like because like. Okay, look, assume you're not using a VPN, right? And what is expected? What is expected? Because if you, I would recommend, I use a VPN. I use a VPN for everything. But if you're not using a VPN, look, you're paying like $20 for Netflix. You're paying like $15 for Peacock. You're paying $30 for ESPN. You combine all that up, man. Like you are basically, and like on top of like the other stuff you're expected, you're paying like a good ass amount. You're paying basically the amount you would pay for cable just to watch WWE. So we are in very weird times. I always used to talk about how eventually there's this streaming bubble, right? There's a streaming bubble where these streaming companies could offer a lot of entertainment for a very low price and people are going to get used to it. But eventually they were going to have to get their money back. I think we are now in the stage where, yes, they're still acquiring a lot of content, but now they understand and feel the need to get their money back on this. And it is crazy. Like I'm just baffled. I am simply baffled by this entire thing. Sorry, give me a minute. Sorry. I hate dead air time. You all know this. Sorry about that. My property taxes are cheaper for the year than subbing to WWE content. That's crazy. That's crazy, guys. That's wild stuff. I mean, your property taxes are I mean, depending where you live, that actually might be true. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Are we closer to the end of pro wrestling on cable? 100%. We're closer to the end. I would say like this is like the tail end of pro wrestling on cable. I think that moving forward, we're definitely going to be in a place where streaming is going to take over. I think WWE, for their part, are very smart to still have some sort of vessel tied to cable, because at the end of the day, for them, it is still a moneymaker, and you're in front of eyeballs that you may not otherwise be in front of. Because truth is, not everyone has streaming yet. They eventually will, but cord cutters, like, there's going to be a hardcore group of cord cutters that are going to be very late to the party when it comes to cutting the cord. So while they're still there, you might as well not only take advantage of the money that NBC, Universal, and all these other places are willing to pay, but also, on top of that, make sure that you are in front of those people who are basically still only watching stuff through cable. So, yeah. WWE thinks Cody Rhodes is the guy that is going to get people to subscribe to ESPN Plus. I mean, it's not about even Cody. It's more than just Cody. It's the brand. They want the brand to be the reason you subscribe. They want the brand to be the reason you watch. They want the brand to be the reason why all of this works. And I think that in that, they're very smart. But again, like I said, I think there's like a pro wrestling bubble version of this too, where eventually, like, you're gonna get the social clicks and all that, and WWE can tell, they're like, oh my god, there's been like 6.3 billion impressions on social views and all this kind of stuff on like a clip. But at the end of the day, it won't matter, because who's actually paying to see your content? That's what's going to determine to your next TV deal. That's what's going to determine your next deal. I think WWE might have, don't get me wrong, I think WWE is getting paid basically right now what they deserve as far as the market goes for live TV. But at the same time, I do think that there is a chance that the pendulum can swing the other way, where it's like, okay, you get a Fox situation, for example, where Fox definitely overpaid for WWE in their eyes, and they couldn't make their money back on the product. So that's why they didn't end up re-upping. I think you could very well see that as well. I don't think that would be a problem so much for Netflix as for the ESPNs. Definitely, I think the Peacocks of the world. People are really spending a year worth of college to go see Logan versus Jelly Roll too. I don't even know what you're talking about. Can Tony Khan get a deal for Ring of Honor through Yahoo Sports Network, their first ever free ad-supported streaming TV fast channel? He could. I don't know how much they'd be willing to pay, because at the end of the day, I just don't know that Ring of Honor is worth that much. I think Ring of Honor was honestly worth more right before the pandemic than they are now. I mean, okay, that's probably not true. I mean, I would say this. As a fan of wrestling, I probably enjoyed Ring of Honor. I definitely enjoyed Ring of Honor more before AEW bought it than after they bought it. It's just been run into the ground horribly. It has not been a good product. And could they get a deal? Sure. I just don't know what the Yahoo Sports Network's finances look like. I'm not sure, how prominent in the zeitgeist that is at this point, and I'm just not sure. Hello, Frank. Good to see you. Guys, if you're like Frank, you're a longtime listener. First of all, welcome. Be sure to smash that thumbs up and be a cool person. Have you seen Naomi's promo about her pregnancy announcement? Yeah, it was cool. Shout out to Naomi. Shout out to Jimmy. Jimmy Uso, Big Daddy Jim, bringing a Jimmy Jr., Lil Jimmy into the world. No, shout out to them. Thought it was a good promo, or a great promo. Thought it was a good announcement. And yeah, dope to see that happening for their family. And I saw this video of like Roman going like, the family grows, man. I'm like, oh man, bro, Lil Jimmy Uso is going to be main eventing WrestleMania 80 or something crazy. We got Kenny Baum in the building. What's up, Kenny? Notice how ESPN's commercial for Wrestlepalooza, most celebrities than wrestlers. Really? I didn't even notice that. But I mean, yeah, they want to get people interested. So if you're able to show celebrities watching the product, then, absolutely you should go for it. I think they should absolutely go ahead and do it. But yeah, I totally think that the big thing that WWE, is definitely going to be doing is more and more stuff with these celebrities. That's the only way they're going to be able to, I think, market this better to a wider audience, because that's who they're trying to reach. What must be done to get ROH on TV/streaming? Rebranding, maybe? I mean, first of all, you need to rebrand it to AEW ROH. That's where the value is. That's what you should have it as. But secondly, you need to make it its own brand, its own entity. You need to have its own fans. Right now, Ring of Honor doesn't. Ring of Honor does not tour. Ring of Honor does not have a studio show where they film out of. Ring of Honor does not have Ring of Honor exclusive talent. They mostly appear on AEW as well. They need to stop that. Tony Khan needs to get his shit together with Ring of Honor, and he needs to either book a competent show that keeps you watching, or he needs to give it to someone else and focus on AEW. These should be two separate brands. Yes, you can have crossover and spillover sometimes, but it has been way too much for way too long, and they need their own identity. That is why Ring of Honor was able to be as popular as it was. It had its own identity. And they're never going to reach the popularity, I don't think, or in the same way that they had last time. I don't think so. They're not going to be able to be the Ring of Honor that they were in 2019. Ring of Honor is never selling out Madison Square Garden. That's never fucking happening again. So what do? You have to rebuild. And right now, I would say creatively, from a creative and interest standpoint, Ring of Honor has never been lower as a company than it is now. They need to do something, man. Because Tony he's running it into the ground. Watch Tony Khan see all of this and goes, "Two can play at that game. Welcome back, Chris Jericho." That'd be wild. Shout out to Kenny Baum for the $20 donation. Shout out to Kenneth Baumington, good friend of the show. Guys, go subscribe to Kenny Baum, the best. Second, I'll let you know. The best. I got you there, Kenny, didn't I? Nah, Kenny Baum is the unk of the wrestling video game community. Go subscribe to him. He's a fantastic individual on top of being a great creator. So thank you, Kenny, for breakfast at Forbidden Door. I'm not eating that beans, eggs, and sausage bullshit that I've been seeing. Like, I'm not. I'm not eating that. But I will definitely have a nice breakfast on this, or I'll order some chicken tenders. But appreciate you, Kenny. Chris Jericho come back and retire in WWE. Well, we'll talk about that and see if that indeed could happen. I believe it will, but I'll talk about it more in just a second. The other thing about this Wrestlepalooza news, this Wrestlepalooza thing is, okay, actually, first of all, before we get too deep into the Wrestlepalooza thing, or the head-to-head thing, I do want to show y'all some. This is wild, bro. This is wild. This is some wild stuff. This is happening. What was John Moxley's old song? Wild Thing. Hold up. So they announced Wrestlepalooza, right? And it's going head-to-head with. Look, first of all, look at this logo, bro. This is not a good logo, Wrestlepalooza. What is this? Is this it's a tire? Is it the Indy 500? Is that what we're going for here? It's in Indianapolis, the Indy 500. What is this logo? I look at this, I'm like, man, bro, logos in wrestling, logos in general, and sports, everything are just so uninspiring these days that I can't believe it. I genuinely can't believe how uninspiring this stuff looks nowadays. What is this? What is this? They just took a random font in Canva, put that stuff in there, and said Indianapolis. This is just, it's so bad. It's so bad, man. Hey, Omer, your opinion. Do you think Chris Jericho shows up at the Rumble? I will talk about my opinion on the Chris Jericho thing in just a little bit. But first, we do got to talk about the other big story about AEW and WWE, because looks like AEW is going to be going head-to-head. Sorry, WWE is going to be going head-to-head with AEW because AEW announced first. Let's take a look at this stuff here. WWE, Wrestlepalooza, and AEW All Out will officially be going head-to-head next month. This marks the first time an AEW pay-per-view will go up against a WWE PLE. So it is official. It is happening For right now, the AEW pay-per-view is still scheduled for 8 p.m. As far as we know, the Wrestlepalooza pay-per-view is also scheduled for around the same time. So it is going to be a head-to-head type situation here for both companies. And I think that what is about to play out, both online and in the real world, is going to be one of the most like beautifully disgusting things we will ever see. Online, it will be mostly disgusting. I think you will see a lot of bad takes. I think you will see a lot of dishonest takes. I think you will see a lot of people poo-pooing one or the other based off of solely either clicks or whatever clout they want to chase. The reality is, though, in person, and for wrestling fans, I do think this is a bit of a cool moment. And I say this while also being critical of the way WWE tends to go about these types of things. But I think there is like a cool element to the idea of, there being the two major wrestling companies that are both, putting on like, or that both put on major shows this year that are going head to head. I think there is like a cool element of that. I think pro wrestling at the end of the day, like, is going to be the talk of the town and the talk of the night. But the other flip side of that is, WWE is obviously going to dominate the discourse because they're WWE. And I think that there's obviously a monopolistic point of view that WWE is coming from this. They want to hurt AEW all out. Now, do I think that this was kind of like deliberately done in order to mitigate any like success All Out may have? Or, if All Out, for example, sells a similar amount of pay-per-views the last pay-per-view did, is it going to, or WWE going to be like, well, we only announced it a month out and they'd already sold like 9,000 tickets before that? Well, I think you could hear that, and that's always an excuse that WWE is probably going to have in their arsenal. It's the same thing as Triple H being like, well, what, they beat our developmental? Come on, man. Like, because there's always got to be an excuse. I think that for WWE, in my view, depending on the show they put on, there's no excuse, because you're probably going to see Brock versus Cena. That's probably going to be the big match of this card. And I think that you're going to, like to me, that is like a Mania level main event. Do I want to watch Brock Lesnar in 2025? No, but that is what it is. I'm probably not going to watch that match, but it's going to draw eyeballs. It's going to draw interest, and it's going to be a major match. And WWE is probably going to sell 10,000 tickets like Forbidden Door has. And I think in that way, WWE, I don't think can say that, well, we only announced a month out or whatever, because it's just, it's bullshit. Like it is bullshit. Like they are a bigger company. Like, of course they're gonna have that advantage. So, Omar, your takes are all subjective. Yes, they are. Especially when I say that Bryan Danielson is the greatest wrestler of all time. That's my most. Actually, wait. All my takes are subjective. Wait a minute. No, this is a criticism. Wait a minute. I read this wrong. This is a criticism. That's wild as shit. All your takes are subjective. That's a wild thing to say, man. Hello. How are you? I'm good, man. What's up, Universal? Are you ready for a Brock versus Cena last man standing match? I don't care. How about Drew versus Cody? That could be dope. We go. All Out is almost sold out already. Almost 40,000 tickets sold. It's not 40,000. They're in an arena. It's 9,000. They've sold 9,000 tickets. Confirmed. Saturday night's main event will not go against AEW World's End. Saturday night's main event December will be John Cena's last match. Is that confirmed? Did that come out? I know that was a rumor that was floating around. I'm not sure if it was official, but we'll take a look. I'll get the boys in the production room, aka me, working on that. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I do think that John Cena's last match will probably be a Saturday night's main event in Boston on that December 13th weekend. I think that's probably what it's going to be. NBC ends at Clash. NBC does end at Clash. Yep. NBC hosting PLE's End It Clash, but Saturday night's main event will go on and be on Peacock. That's going to happen. Buddy, it's Toronto. Seating is 41,000. Buddy, it is the Scotiabank Arena, which is a basketball hockey arena that's set for like 20,000 max capacity. The 41,000 is the Rogers Center where WWE ran Elimination Chamber. We got Gerard Clark, friend of the show, with a $5 donation. Appreciate you, Mr. Clark, saying, why not move AEW All Out to the afternoon like 1 p.m. so TK could get a head start like All in Texas? Not only does that move all AEW pay-per-views early, the biggest reason not to, I think, would be number one. I think the logistical setup probably. I'm not because let's look at this like a little objectively, right? Or let's take a step back here. Like a lot of the plannings for these pay-per-views are done well in advance. Understand we're a month out and you can switch some things around, but logistically, a lot of the planning of like who's going to be where and why to set up this pay-per-view, to set up the stage, to set up the arena, to be there, that's already been done. The travel's been paid for, all that kind of stuff has been paid for. Like you have to like logistically move that back and you don't know how much that's probably going to cost. The other reason you wouldn't do it is potentially for fans who may be flying in that same day. I do think you do with AEW, you do get a contingent of fans who do fly in, and like myself. And what you don't want is for this to be too early for them to make it, or drive in or something. And that's the only reason you wouldn't. I don't think that's a reason not to. Personally, I would very much like to see these pay-per-views be at like 3 p.m. I prefer it, in fact, because number one, it clears up my Saturday night. So if I want to do a stream, I can do a stream. If I want to go hang out with friends, I can go hang out with friends or do whatever. But, I'm just not as... I would say I think AEW should definitely look into doing these more so in the afternoons. The only reason you wouldn't, maybe during the NFL or during football seasons for college football, going head to head to college football might be a little bit of a pain, but I also am not a huge believer that's going to have too much of an indictment on their business. I think TNA will announce a TV deal at Bound for Glory. It's going to be the CW, in my opinion. I believe TNA. Am I wrong, or did TNA? Or they didn't announce a TV deal, but we had an update on a TV deal. I believe it was John Alba. So yeah, John Alba did report on the TNA TV deal. By the way, thank you, Gerard Clark, for that super chat. So John Alba did say that TNA is in talks for a TV deal. TNA president Carlos Silva confirmed that the company will actively be seeking a new media rights partner, estimating TNA's average value to be in the realm of $7 to $10 million per year. So definitely not enough to get them to the second biggest company in the world right now. But shout out to Eric Bischoff for that one. Put pay-per-views on Saturdays. You will see that in the fall. I don't think you're going to see that much outside of the fall in the winter. But during football season, Tony traditionally does not put pay-per-views on Sundays. I think the only time that's happened was Wrestle Dream 2023 when I was there, and that was because it was a very, very last-minute pay-per-view announcement. What's the end game of WWE's strategy of counter-programming, because they can't rely on it forever? The end game is to hurt AEW's business, to prove that they are the bigger company in both the wrestling zeitgeist and to mitigate any talk and momentum the company has. That is it. Like, and people will say like, oh, this is such a negative view of WWE. It's true. Objectively, it is the truth. It is a strategy that, Nick Khan has even talked about. Under TKO, I should say, WWE has become even more and more, ruthless. And yeah, it is what it is. It's what it is. American Made says, I'm just watching the YouTube clips. All you need saves hours in your week too. You ain't wrong there. West Coast won't be able to watch it live. Be 1 p.m. for showtime. Yeah. Well, that's going to be the case for, I believe, Forbidden Door. Forbidden Door is going to be a crazy early start time for the West Coast, because that's going to be live from the UK. But that's going to be a wild one What else we got here, guys? What else you got to throw at me? Throw them at me. Is All Out still $49.99 on pay-per-view? It is if you're buying on traditional pay-per-views in the United States. If you use a VPN, you can get it for like $25. That's what I usually do. I use a VPN and I get All Out for like $25 in the UK. Damn, I should get like a VPN sponsor. I feel like I talk about VPNs a lot. I should get a VPN sponsor. I'm gonna work on that. What's your all's favorite VPN? Oh, actually, no, I already have a favorite I use. Anyway, excuse me. But I'm not saying nothing until they pay me. VPN's gonna get lots of business from WWE fans in the US. Hey man, you know what? It's time to get that VPN sponsorship. Let's do it. What's good, Taco Kid? Love to see you, man. Hopefully you're doing well, brother. Forbidden Door start time is 10 a.m. on the West Coast. Yo, that's wild, bro. A 10 a.m. start time for Forbidden Door is crazy work. But you know what? I would like that, man. That's like I've definitely spoken about this, but like whenever I flew out to like Seattle or wherever for big wrestling shows, like actually no, it's been Wrestle Dream on the West Coast, I think. Wrestle Dream and Vegas when I went for Double or Nothing. When I was like on the West Coast, when I was on West Coast time watching football, and I was like, bro, or actually this wasn't the Vegas shows, it was only Wrestle Dream. But when I was in Seattle, I was watching football like 10 a.m. having a brunch. I was like, this is amazing. It's amazing. Love it. You know what? I want to watch. You know, they need to move everything back a couple hours for me. Or maybe I need to go over to the West Coast. I wouldn't live on the West Coast, though. Seattle is probably the only city I would live in on the West Coast. What's the update with HBO streaming AEW pay-per-views at a discount almost a year and still nothing? There is no update. Does not look like that is going to happen anytime soon, but who knows? Who knows? But Endgame, yeah, hurt AEW at all costs. Like they don't want AEW to take up any more of the market share than they have. It's a very, very monopolistic move, and I think that, you know, I'm saying WWE, just to close the loop on this, WWE has already gotten itself in trouble with MLW when it comes to this antitrust stuff, when it comes to you know, the perception that they are a monopoly on professional wrestling. By AEW's very existence, that kind of proves contradictory. But I do think that under any other administration, there would be the potential for a strong push for an antitrust lawsuit against WWE if AEW and these other companies wanted to do it. I think it's going to be harder under the Trump administration, given the ties that he has to WWE, quite frankly. Is WWE and TKO Group realize that counter-programming will continue to backfire but increase AEW's popularity through public opinion? I don't think they care. I think what they care about is being the number one trend on Twitter, being the number one trend online during their big shows, and proving that their shows are very fun to watch and they're very fun to attend to a casual audience. That is what they are all in on. They understand that there's going to be the hardcore wrestling fans that might not be with it, and they don't care about those fans. They care about people who love WWE. They don't care about people who love professional wrestling. That's my opinion. Sunday Night Football is great because it ends. I still have a bit of time left in my night to enjoy. 8 p.m. end time for Sunday Night Football is crazy. Roman's contract ends at Mania 2026. He is still going Hollywood full-time. That's probably what's going to happen. Cena's gone, Roman's gone, Naomi's gone, Punk leaving in November 26th. Punk is not leaving November 26th. Unless something insane happens, like a la Punk fighting like Seth Rollins backstage or something crazy, I don't think that's going to happen. WWE wants to monopolize North America wrestling. They are going to buy TNA, but since they can't buy AEW, they are doing all that they can to hurt their product. They're not going to buy TNA. I don't think that there is not any value for WWE to buy TNA. What's the value? Using that talent? They can already use any of the TNA talent they want through this partnership with TNA they have. What's the value? The TNA library? They could cut a deal right now with TNA for just the library. What's the value? The use of the TNA brand? They can use the TNA brand for all they want right now, and they don't have to pay for it. And on top of it, they do not carry any of TNA's potential debt. We know that a couple of years ago, one of the things that came out in a major lawsuit between all of the shareholders of TNA was how much in debt this company was. We don't know at this point how much in debt they are now, but they certainly have not made a profit over the past couple of years. And WWE would essentially be inheriting this debt depending on how the deal would go down. And what incentive do they have to, number one, pay for an entity, and number two, pay off that debt? I don't think there's anything there. Any of the value they could get out of TNA, they're already getting through this partnership. Those who don't believe in karma will be their undoing. This saying applies to both WWE and TKO Group. Amen to that. The young talent will come up in WWE. They certainly will. I do think that is definitely going to happen. I think you're going to see a lot of young talent. It's going to definitely be a harder journey for others, but you're already seeing the likes of Dominic Mysterio, Roxanne Perez, and many others make their way up the ladder, but we'll see. TKO is $4 billion in debt. Well, no, they are not. Endeavor is technically, I think, $4 billion in debt. One of those shell companies is $4 billion in debt. TKO is not. By the way, guys, you guys want to help me not be in debt, you guys can smash that thumbs up. There's 34 of you watching right now, which I appreciate. Only 18 likes. Let's get that number up. Let's pump that up. Need you to grip that thing and like that thing as well. Grip that thing, like that thing. Shout out to Kenny Baum for that. Anyway, don't know where that came from. Yeah, man. Chris Jericho versus John Cena's last match. I don't think that his contract's not going to run out in time for that. I don't believe. I don't think his contract's going to run out in time for that. Man, oh man, oh man. What else we got, guys? What else we got? Okay, we have a lot to talk about because we still have to talk about Chris Jericho. We still got to talk about AEW Forbidden Door. So much to talk about. I will be at Forbidden Door again. I don't know if I mentioned this. Maybe I did. Probably did. I definitely did. I'm going to be at AEW Forbidden Door, and I'm super hyped, man. I'm super hyped for this show. I just bought my ticket, and quick aside, I'll tell you like a little behind the scenes story about buying my ticket. So you guys who have watched the show, followed the channel for a very long time, understand and know that I am a late bloomer when it comes to buying wrestling tickets. And by that I mean, I usually buy tickets last minute, very little planning, usually a lot of planning goes into it. This time I knew and understood the circumstances in the UK are very different. They don't have the major dynamic pricing that we have in the United States that ends up screwing people over for ticket prices. They don't have a lot of third-party apps that are legal in the country to resell tickets. It's only done through one vendor. And for me, I'm sitting here, right? And I was like, I need to buy these tickets early. And then I got lazy, people. Your boy got lazy. And I would try to buy a ticket, and then Axis, the same company that owns TNA, by the way, Axis would be like, hey, we need you to sign in. And I'm like, okay, apparently I have an Axis account, an Axis ticket account that I don't remember the password to. Try to do the password, reset a few times, didn't work. And I was like, you know what? I gave up. I gave up multiple times. And then today I saw there were like 20 tickets available on the map that I was looking at. And I was like, all right, this is a shoot sellout. I need to buy my tickets now. And I ended up getting an aisle seat, which if you know me, your boy loves the hell out of an aisle seat. I'm there in the lower bowl, an aisle seat for a little bit more than I would have paid, honestly, like a week or two ago. But here we are, and we're going to Forbidden Door. I'm excited. The moral of this story, kids, if the event is in the UK or Europe, buy the tickets earlier. But I'm really hyped. I went to the UK last year for AEW All in Wembley. I'm going to go back next year. I'm trying to get Kenneth, to get Kenny Baum and Just Brian to come with me. So if you are also viewers of their channels, please bug the shit out of them in the comments and be like, hey, go to Forbidden Door with Omar Q, Big Om. Get him to come with you or go with him. Especially Brian, young boy Brian, man. Young boy Brian, y'all need to get up on him. Tell him. Let him know. Let him know he needs to come. I need to see that man. Hey, yo. Shout out wherever, somewhere in the distance on the VOD, Wall Street Money is watching this going, hey, yo. Somewhere. Wall Street Money is saying like, hey, yo. Oh, man. But yes, Brian, you should come to All In next year at Wembley. You should come. Anyway, that was fun. Oh man, I'm having a fucking blast, people. I love this, guys. Be sure to smash that thumbs up. We're at 19 likes. Get it to 20. Come on, one of y'all, mother lovers, hit that like button. Let's get this to 20 likes. Oh my gosh, you got insane. I'm on a roll right now, people. I'm on a roll right now. We'll talk about Forbidden Door. Well, I'll do like my full predictions for Forbidden Door in just a little bit. But hey, yo. Oh, I popped myself like crazy there. Let's talk about Chris Jericho. Y'all want to talk about Chris Jericho? I think it might be time to talk about Chris Jericho. Yeah, let's talk about Chris Jericho. We just hit 20 likes. Shout out to whoever hit that like button. So, a lot of people wondering what the fudge is going on with Chris Jericho. A lot of people wondering where, how, when is he going to appear wherever he is. Well, we have some news about that. Chris Jericho, according to FightfulSelect.com, Jericho is signed with AEW through 2025 and has a number of months left on his deal. There is no word of any creative discussions regarding Jericho in AEW of late, but Jericho tends to speak with Tony Khan directly regarding his creative. There also isn't a huge track record of him taking this amount of time off and how it would be handled. If there would be a contract freeze or how a potential return would be handled. So we have that. And now we also have a follow-up in that same FightfulSelect.com report. It says WWE sources spoken to said that Chris Jericho's name has not come up whatsoever around the creative process. So if conversations happened regarding him internally, it wasn't in that department. There are certainly talent, and this is interesting, there are certainly talent who have been speculating about his potential return and higher ups that say that Chris Jericho remains on good terms with WWE. One source in the company called the situation far too early to tell because WWE doesn't seem sure that Jericho's status will be in the coming months. Doesn't seem to, whatever. Maybe I read that wrong. Whatever. It's very tiny on this screen. It's a tiny, look. It's a little tweet on my screen. I wanted to look over here where it's big and bold and brash, but it wasn't. I couldn't look over here. I was trying not to look. I was trying to look directly at the people. Anyway, has anyone heard that Raquel got hurt? I did not hear about that. I'll look into it in just a second, though. But yeah, Chris Jericho in 2025. I was asked a question, I believe it was by James earlier, and the question was, what are the chances that he shows up, he being Chris Jericho, what are the chances Chris Jericho shows up at the 2026 Royal Rumble? And my answer to that is, I think at this point where we are right now, in my opinion, I don't have any insider knowledge about this really. I'm not, breaking any news. I think that Jericho will probably be there. I just don't know what is left to do in AEW for him. I think that his stuff in AEW in 2025 and 2024 and even parts of 2023 got very, very, very stale. And he's someone who has been known to reinvent himself. And I think, quite frankly, he's run out of his 9 lives when it comes to that. He's the Nueve as far as world championship reigns go, right? I think he's run out of his 9 lives in that department, and at least in AEW. I think that the value that WWE would see in a guy like Chris Jericho is having one more run. And maybe trying to talk him into having a retirement run in WWE. That's the real value. I don't see him winning the world championship. I don't see him hoisting up the King of the Ring trophy. I don't see him winning the Royal Rumble. I think Jericho will be a nostalgia act in WWE and be treated as such. And that for them worked. There was value for AEW with Chris Jericho when they first started. Well, absolutely. AEW, let me be clear. AEW does not work in the way that it does and is not successful in the way that it is without Chris Jericho. All Elite Wrestling was a perfect storm of events for it to be where it is today. Jericho is integral to that. The last 3 years, he has not been. And my question for WWE would be, what kind of Jericho are we getting? Are we getting a Chris Jericho that's going to try to reinvent himself once again? Or are we going to get a parody of a parody? I don't know. Chris Jericho did his best stuff in WWE. Absolutely, because he was there for like 20 fucking years. Of course he did his best stuff in WWE. Of course he did. I don't want to see Jericho in 2025. Well, you probably won't. You probably won't. I don't want to see Jericho in 2025, bro. I remember Wrestle Dream last year. We planned to meet up during his match, but it took forever to come on. Yo, it did. No, that was crazy. Because Taco Kid and I are like synced up when it comes to pro wrestling. Like I remember I was like, yeah, nah, like during the Jericho match, we got you, bro. Because like that was for the longest time, my entire wrestling, whenever I would go to an AEW show, the entire night was built around one moment. And that would be my pee snack break during the Chris Jericho matches. I hear Chris Jericho's music go, especially when he changed to the from Judas to whatever, the I am the learning tree song. Whenever I heard that, I am the learning tree, I was like, time to get up. All right, Kenny Bomb, just whoever I'm with, I'm dipping. I'm out because I'm not watching that shit. So yeah. But yeah, shout out to Taco Kid though. Unfortunately, no major wrestling shows in Seattle this year. Sad face. Y'all are not eating good this year, but hopefully we'll bring. I'll buzz Tony on the phone and get him to bring Wrestle Dream back in 2026. We'll buzz him. Don't worry. I love the storyline with the list. It was funny. Oh my God, no. To this day, him going up to James Ellsworth, being like, "You funny looking man, you, sir, have been added to the list." I love that stuff. So much. Oh man. Isla Dawn signed in AEW. Did that happen? Did it happen at the Glasgow show? Don't give me I shouldn't say don't give me Glasgow spoilers because I'm probably gonna see him anyway. I did see Grado was at AEW Glasgow, but he was on the ROH version. But Isla Dawn, is she all elite? Did that happen? Oh wow, it did. Wow. They're taping Collision in Glasgow? Wait, what? When is AEW Collision? Are they taping Collision for next week? What the hell? Hold up. Time for Omer to do some big Ohm investigations. What are they? So we have Forbidden Door in London. That's weird. So I guess they're... Yo, what is these animals? What? Okay, so they are taping. So we have Collision this week. When is Collision on? Guys, someone tell me. I think I'm going crazy. Is Collision like tomorrow or something? Are they doing a special start time or something? Or is it Saturday? I guess it's Saturday. Because, yeah, the show's on Sunday, right? Okay, never mind. I worked myself into a shoot. Since you answered my question about AEW earlier pay-per-views, can his crew set up the stage, the ring, and the seating a week or two in advance before the start time? I mean, they definitely can a week or two in advance because usually the arenas are rented like, either a day or two in advance. So that's when they could probably start. I think they're taking Collision for Saturday. Okay, my mistake. I was, for whatever reason in my head, Forbidden Door was on Saturday, but that's not. It's on a Sunday. I should know that because I'm going. But yeah. Jericho was like, who is that child? Somebody lost their child? Little weird man with child face. You've been added to the list. That was gold. List of Jericho was peak Jericho. It was that. Well, List of Jericho and like early AEW Jericho was also peak. Early AEW Jericho was peak too. Shout out to early AEW Jericho. Yeah, man. Anyway, we also got Forbidden Door to talk about. Actually, wait, no. One more thing on Jericho. Yeah, I think if I had to put a number on it, I would say there's a 70% chance I think he probably shows up at Rumble. I think Riyadh too. The Saudis, they're gonna be like, Habibi, look, we would very much like Chris Jericho to appear at the show. Y2J, we love Y2J, and Jericho's gonna ham it up. He'd be like, assalamu alaikum. Hi, I'm a Jericho, and Y2J is here for you, Saudi. Yo, do you imagine? Honestly, a meeting between Chris Jericho and like the Crown Prince would be a wild ass like promo. I'll be a wild promo. Could you imagine that? Look here, Muhammad bin Salman. You don't tell me what to do. I am Chris Jericho. I'm the learning tree. And it's like, he's like, do you know what we do to trees here? Wait, that was a Russian accent. Like, Habibi. He's gonna start that Habibi. Shout out to my Habibis in the chat, by the way. Shout out to my Habibis in the chat. Jericho's best gimmick was Y2J, heel run in 2008, List of Jericho, and Le Champion. I would say that the heel run in 2008 was also good. I would put List of Jericho, early Y2J Jericho, like before he won the Undisputed title, then Le Champion Chris Jericho, and then 2008. Trevor saying Saudi needs a new wrestling mascot. That they do. Shout out to the Saudis, man. Shout out to the Saudis. I am the Saudi tree. Could you imagine that? That'd be crazy work. Anyway. All right. What else we got, man? What else we got? We got Sean Ross Sapp saying, right now, YouTube TV is not included in the ESPN Unlimited carriers, but ESPN sources tell Fightful Select that they believe they are optimistic that a deal could be reached for WrestleMania. Okay? So, by the time WrestleMania rolls around, you probably could have a YouTube TV subscription and also get WWE PLEs for free, included. Next Saturday night's main event will take place, is according to Wrestle Votes. I'm just going through some news. Next Saturday night's main event will take place November 1st, streaming exclusively on Peacock. Location news tomorrow on Wrestle Votes Radio, so go tune into that. Oh, this is sad. This has very little. This has nothing to do with wrestling, but this is just a sad thing. Viral judge Frank Capiro? Viral judge Frank Capiro has passed away. Caprio. I can't read today. Viral judge Frank Caprio has passed away at 88. And this is the guy who does like all of the really nice judge things. Like he's based out of like Rhode Island, and he's known to go very easy on people given their situations. So shout out to him, man. Prayers up in the little in the later June. What else we got? Is there anything else we got? I mean, I have to do the Forbidden Door preview real quick, and then I have to get up out of here. Oh, this is cold. This is nasty work. AEW's tab on ESPN's Pro Wrestling section has been removed. I told y'all this would happen. I told you guys this would happen. And what happened? Bruh, you get an error message if you try to view AEW on ESPN now. I told you. I told you all. This is why WWE made this very, very big move. The worldwide leader in sports, now officially a WWE state media entity. That's what we're doing. WWE State Media, it doesn't end at just your regular podcasters. It doesn't end at JD from New York. It doesn't end with Alfred, whatever the fuck his last name is. It doesn't end with Sean Views, ENT. It continues and continues. The WWE State Media is going crazy. I'm probably going to get a lot of crap for name dropping all those people, but it is what it is. State Media, running wild right now. Oh my gosh. Oh man, that was just memeing. I'm just memeing. Mostly. Mostly memeing. Yeah, Rip Frank, R.I.P. Frank, she like, well, not our Frank. Our Frank is still here. Our Frank's still kicking, still doing his thing. But yeah, no, I told you guys this is what happened. Because now, what incentive does NBC Sports have to cover AEW at all? None, because they were trying to push a WWE product. What incentive does ESPN have to cover AEW? None, because they want you to, if you're going to watch wrestling, they want you to watch WWE because that's the platform that is hosting the PLEs. Come on, guys. Come on. This was like, that's why I said this was the smartest deal that Nick Khan could ever make. And he is going to get very well compensated for it. But yeah, it is what it is. ESPN and WWE screwing AEW is cold and messed up. They need a response. What response is Tony going to do? He's going to put on a great show this Saturday. Or this Sunday, he's gonna put on a fantastic show on Dynamite. Like the most he can do is put on good shows. The most he can do is try to get eyeballs on the product. He is just not gonna be able to compete with WWE in the head start they have. That is the cold, hard facts. WWE would need to get it its own way in a way that I honestly don't think we can really imagine. We could get there. Don't get me wrong. The way how uninspired SmackDown is, if that's going to extend to the PLEs, that's going to extend to everything else. I could see that happening, but yeah, man, yeah. Did you read my Isla Dawn? Yeah, I read your Isla Dawn post. I think so. I definitely talked about her. Pretty sure I did. Tony just needs to focus on AEW and put on a good show. No need to respond. Yeah, I mean, what is he going to do to respond? Like, what can he do? Realistically, what can Tony Khan do? I don't think there's much he can do. But yeah, it's wild, man. Tony needs to worry about his own company, not worry about WWE. I agree. I think that, if it gets to the level of contract tampering, like Tony probably, like, I obviously don't want to get into a head of a billionaire. I don't do that type of thing. I'm not really for that, but I do see a world where, like, if WWE gets aggressive, then, it's if it gets way too aggressive, and I could see a situation where that where they cook them with a lawsuit, maybe. Gerard, I can only see chats that go back like the past 30 minutes, and I'm just not seeing the Isla Dawn one. But you want to repeat it? You're more than free to repeat it. I just can't find it in my chat feature that I have up here. Do you think WWE moving to ESPN will make some American fans stop watching because of the costs? I think any fans they would lose, number one, they would make up for. And I also think that, quite frankly, they got paid. Right now, they're big chilling. They got paid. They're big chilling. This is nasty work, though. This AEW tab getting removed. Insane work. I called this. I called it, though. AEW is the number 2 wrestling company. Yep. As far as how big it is, it's definitely the number 2. An argument could be made by quality, though. People aren't ready to hear that argument, though. Anyway. All right. What else? AEW Forbidden Door. Oh, here we go. I think, someone mentioned in the chat. Confirmed. John Cena's retirement match will be held December 13th, WWE, Saturday night's main event. The event will be exclusively on Peacock. I will be there. I said it. I'm not really that in tune with the WWE product as of right now, but what I will say, I made a promise to Just Brian. I made a promise to Kenny Baum. I will be at Saturday night's main event for John Cena's final match. So you will see me then. Gerard Clark, congratulations to Isla Dawn on being #All Elite. If she needs anything, if you know what I mean, I'm happy to assist. Hey, with her permission, of course. That's crazy. If you wanted me to read that. That did pop me. Thank you. Oh man, why did I throw in the Booker T? Booker T's crazy, man. He's like, Booker T is brain rot in my mind when it comes to like, there is no bigger gooner in professional wrestling right now than Booker T, bro. Bro is like just out here like straight up like oh yeah, shucky ducky quack quack. I'm not a creep. It's just, yes, that's totally what someone who's not a creep would say. I'm playing. I'm sure you're not a creep, my bro. I'm not buying that. Wouldn't be surprised if WWE pulls a fast one and announces that 2 days notice the PLE will go head to head with World's End. Well, that would be crazy on 2 days notice. That would be wild stuff on 2 days notice. Booker T, 4 letters, 1 word. Duck. I don't know. That show, the show should have been all John Cena's memories in WWE from start till now. We will see. I trust that WWE will. I trust that WWE will put on a good enough show to honor John Cena's legacy. I think the bar, obviously, for a retirement show, has been set by AEW. That Sting retirement still gives me goosebumps. I think Flair's retirement as well. They also set the bar. So the bar is pretty high when it comes to big time retirements. John Cena is obviously at that level of a Sting, a Ric Flair, and all that, all time, God tier level wrestler. So you got to give him a major moment at the end and build the show around him. AEW built all of the Revolution show last year around Sting's last match. I think you got the same thing cooking here with this Saturday night's main event. I would make this the most John Cena thing you've ever seen. So we'll see. And then the next night or the next week on Raw, just have him come out and leave the memories alone. And then in 2 years, he's going to TNA. I hope Dwayne doesn't ruin Cena's retirement. That motherfucker better not come out during the speech or something like that. Would you imagine Dwayne just shoots on everyone? He's like, look here, John Cena, you want to talk about me? I'm the final boss. You're damn right. I screwed you and I will do it again because I'm the final boss. And Roman Reigns, he just does it to build up a match, not even with John Cena, but with Roman Reigns. That'd be nasty work. Who do you think Cena faces in his retirement match? I think Gunther or Drew. I'm leaning Gunther right now. I think, I would say Gunther would be my pick. Whatever you do, you have to pick someone cool. Okay, spoiler alert for Dynamite. Spoiler alert for Dynamite. Spoiler alert for Dynamite. You have been warned. You have been warned. You have been warned. But I need to shout out this man. I really need to shout this out. So again, spoiler alert for AEW Dynamite, which kicks off in just 20 minutes. You have been warned. 1, 2, 3. I need to shout out Luchasaurus, man. Luchasaurus back on AEW Dynamite. I don't know the context. I don't know what's happening. I don't know why. Obviously, he looks like he's going head toe-to-toe right now with Christian Cage. We will see on Dynamite what happens. But shout out to Luchasaurus. This man has been through a lot. This man went through a health scare, and he has made it on the other side. Very glad to see him healthy and back doing what he's doing. Shout out to Luchasaurus. So that's all I wanted to say. Boycott Activision says, dude still believe The Rock is responsible for creative decisions. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Well, tell me when I'm telling lies. But yeah, I would lean Gunther for his retirement match. Anyway. Anywho, any do, any boo. Any boo. Any boo is crazy. Any boo. Oh, man. All right, what else y'all got? Oh, yeah, I still have to run down the damn AEW Forbidden Door card. Let's run down this card. All right, so AEW Forbidden Door, live from London, not Ontario, Canada. From London, England, I should say, not Ontario. Why would he be from London, Ontario? So live from London, we have AEW Forbidden Door. Some major matches here. We have the Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega. Actually, hold up. I could probably pull up the match graphics better. Let me just do that. My problem with today's music is it has no rhythm, no percussion, no substance. I'd rather listen to Linkin Park and Limp Bizkit than Travis Scott and Megan Thee Stallion. We are same. You and me, brother. Against the world, Gerard. Anyway, yeah, no, I agree. I think that, it's like not even like, I don't think it's a lack of rhythm. I think there is rhythm in there's definitely rhythm in music today, but it's just, it's not the same, man. Not the same as it used to be. Which I know for a lot of you dates the shit out of me. Well, whatever. All right. AEW Forbidden Door, some major big-time spectacular matches. We got Hangman Adam Page versus Maxwell Jacob Friedman, MJF, for the AEW Men's World Championship. We also have Timeless Tony Storm versus Athena, the ROH Women's Champion, for the AEW Women's World Championship. You got Swerve Strickland, Kazuchika Okada, AEW Unified Championship on the line. TBS title 4-way match. We also have the TNT Championship on the line with Takahashi and the man, the myth, the legend, the Protest star, Kyle Fletcher. And the insane lights out steel cage match 5-on-5. Young Bucks, Gabe Kidd, Claudio Castagnoli, and Jonathan A. Moxley versus Darby Allin, Will Ospreay, the Golden Lovers, Kenny Omega, and Kota Ibushi. And the final piece in his final match in the UK, the man who is also retiring at Wrestle Dream and Wrestle Kingdom. So many Wrestle pay-per-views. Wrestlepalooza, Wrestle Dream, WrestleMania. Too many wrestling pay-per-views. But at Wrestle Kingdom, it will be Hiroshi Tanahashi, the ace of New Japan Pro Wrestling, in a lights-out steel cage 5-way tornado tag match. And I will be there to witness this insanity. Oh my God. And then, of course, why would we end there? Because we got the AEW World Tag Team titles on the line World Tag Team titles on the line because we got, I almost called them the Hurt Business, the Hurt Syndicate versus either FTR or Bandito and Brody King. Of course, it's probably going to be FTR. And, well, they seem to have left out a very important match because there is one more match that we got to talk about because it is for nothing but pride. The return of Edge and Christian. Adam Copeland teaming up with Christian Cage versus Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne. And then I mean, like, look, I'm how stupid can I be? We have this match too, casually IWGP title on the line, Zack Sabre Jr. versus Nigel McGuinness. Yeah, because Okay, I want to first talk about this card. This is an insane fucking card. This is like genuinely might be one of the best cards of all time. On paper, this is like one of the most stacked cards in wrestling history. You guys can scoff at that. You guys can think whatever you want. You guys can agree with that. I don't really care. Pure insanity. MJF versus Hangman Page. Two cornerstones of your company. The biggest heel versus the big baby face. Kazuchika Okada, Swerve Strickland. Yes, automatic. Two big stars. Tony Storm, who's probably the best in AEW right now, versus Athena, who has been underrated to all hell over the last couple of years, cooking in ROH. The only good thing about that show. Then, of course, you're telling me we're just throwing in a Cope and Cage reunion on this for the first time in over a decade? And then Nigel McGuinness is challenging for the IWGP Championship in London, and against of all people, as I just my entire system just went out because I pulled something on the Anyway, but like Nigel McGuinness going up against in the UK freaking Zack Sabre Jr. for the IWGP Championship. Brother. Takahashi, Kyle Fletcher. Okay, I'll take that. Yes, and then we got the Fatal 4-Way with Alex Windsor and Mercedes Moné. Like this is a freaking and then the 5-on-5 steel cage lights out. Matt, what are we doing? We're throwing everything. One of the most stacked cards in wrestling history. I don't care what you say. If you have ever watched New Japan Pro Wrestling consistently over the past 10, 15 years, this is an insane monstrosity of a card. Shout out to him. Are you going to the UK? Yes, I will be in the UK. I will be at this event. Confirmed. Hopefully, Tekla might be on the card. Hopefully. I think they'll definitely get her on the card in some way, shape, or form. They should have just done the women's tag belts here, but I don't know why. If WWE had any sense, John Cena's last match should have been Ron Killings retiring his childhood hero, John Cena, and a loser leaves WWE match. That'd be wild. That'd be wild. The internet would go insane for that. I wonder if they consider too early for Okada to lose the Unified Championship, or do they count the Continental run? I mean, he has been a champion since he's been a champion for a year and a half at this point. So, yeah. I also think outside ballpark chance that Eddie Kingston does return. Outside. I don't know if he's definitely not clear to return, but I think it would be good to get him on the stick. And yeah, I'm Eddie Kingston. I hate you, Okada. You want to fight? You want to get my title back? Be great. That'd be dope. The G1 Classic Tournament is the reason most of the New Japan Pro Wrestling roster isn't available, but the USMC has a saying: improve, adapt, overcome. Let's go, TK. Well, I also do have a video basically cooking the concept of Forbidden Door has become. That's coming out later tonight. So after Dynamite goes off the air, I will be sharing that with the masses. So be sure to go over or come over to youtube.com and check that out. It is a fair critique, and I do offer solutions. I'm not just saying AEW's cook, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying all that. Shout out to Brian. Yeah, man. I just think them boys cook, shout out to Brian. I love you, Brian. What was I saying? I don't know. I'm wired on coffee, people. I'm just wired on coffee. AEW's coming in hot right now. We got Dynamite tonight. I'm going to be at Forbidden Door. It's going to be a fun time. I will be taking some time off, so we'll probably not be streaming for the next I'll definitely do a stream Saturday, and I'll try to fit one in Friday. But after that, you might get one, or you might get you'll get something for Forbidden Door. I get, you know what? Okay, you'll probably get some streams, but I will say next week and then the week after, I'm going to be pretty much offline. I have a bunch of videos that and video essays that are in the bank, ready to go, that are going to be rolling out on some really fun, interesting topics. I got one talking about the WWE draft. I got one talking about WWE potentially running Wembley. I also have another one about the future of Ring of Honor and so much more. So all that stuff is going to be coming out on the channel in spurts. So check that out. Also going to be cooking over on youtube.com/WrestleVibes. But again, basically like till September 4th, I'm basically going to be out of commission for live streams after Forbidden Door. So just, we will be back. Don't miss me too much. And if you end up missing me and I got time, might do a cell phone stream. We'll do what we did for All In. We'll do a cell phone stream. Yeah, y'all seem to have liked that, but we'll see. I mean, improvise. Apologies. Shout out to you, Mr. Clark. I'm looking forward to seeing McGinnis live. Last time I saw him, he was Desmond Wolfe. You're going to Forbidden Door too? That's dope. That is dope. Maybe I'll see you around. But Forbidden Door is going to be a great show. I am blessed to have the opportunity to be there. And again, I say this because I paid for my own ticket. I want that to be known. Anyway, going to be a fun time. Football season's also starting up, baby. Shout out to my Baltimore Ravens. We're winning the Lombardi this year. Am I going to miss the first Ravens game? I literally just thought about this. Am I going to be... Oh, my God. I am not going to miss the first Ravens game. We're going to Buffalo, baby. Let's do it. Let's do it to it. Anyway. Hangman wins. Swerve Strickland wins the Unified Championship. FTR wins the World Tag Team Championships. Kyle Fletcher wins. Zack Sabre wins. Adam Copeland, Christian win. 100. Okay, yes. Everyone who wants my things, my whatchamacallit, predictions. Those are my predictions. I'll also give it to Tony Storm for the dub, and also finally give the dub to the baby faces. Tanahashi picking up the victory in the lights out steel cage match. Team Omega. No. Team Tana. It's Team Tana, baby. Team Tana. Tanahashi. Anyway, guys, I love every single one of you. I am going to try to continue to be a presence in all of your lives, and especially when it comes to pro wrestling. So be sure to subscribe, hit that like button. I don't know what I'm doing with my hat right now. I'm just like mucking around with it. Anyway, guys, I appreciate all of you who tune in. The streams have been doing really well, and on top of it, they've been a fun time for me. I love to interact with you guys, and this has become like genuinely like one of the most fun parts of doing this, and I appreciate all of you. I really do. Love y'all, and we'll be live again. I'll try to do one on Friday and definitely Saturday. So we'll do that, and we'll have fun, and we'll talk wrestling until I'm blue in the face like I literally am right now. Anyway, love y'all. Peace. Watch wrestling. Watch AEW. Watch WWE. Watch GCW. Watch whatever wrestling you want. Let's come talk about it every single time I'm live. Bring me your questions. Bring me your comments. Bring me your concerns. Until next time, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it real. I'm Omar Q, a.k.a. Big Om, and I will see you next time. Peace.